Hello, body. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Body of Christ Real Talk Health Talk. My name is Joseph Brownlee. Welcome to the show. This is now Sunday, 8:49 p.m. in the Chicago area. Now, I'm going to give you little snippets of some audio, that video that I will be letting you listen to, for the ones that's interested in listening, on a few. These documentaries, some of them are long, but it's just some information. I'm going to give you some root information on scientific proof data on certain foods in our industry, especially here in the US of A. So what I want you to listen to without any further ado is something that so you won't I don't want you to think that I'm claiming that I know all this stuff and what I've been talking about in the previous previous shows that I have been doing here on my podcast, and the majority of it is basically on somewhat of opinion and what of the factual research that I have done, and then I make my decisions according to the research and also my own placebo and my personal experience with certain foods. So I want you to understand, and I want you to do the same thing. I don't want you to just listen to me. I want you to hear other people, what they have to say about other things and other foods that's going on here in our wonderful so-called U.S. of A. when it comes to the Food and Drug Administration, or the Food Administration in the United States. Without any further ado, here's a little short clip on some of the stuff that I will be presenting in my podcast.
Remember the old days, the pies your mother used to make? You'd go into the kitchen, there's Mom breaking eggs, beating them. There'd be rich country cream and sugar and fresh fruit and real vanilla beans and butter. Remember all that? Well, you can forget it.
When we walk through the supermarket, we're bombarded with choices. Fresh or frozen. Low fat or lots of fat. Cool Ranch or nacho cheese. With so much variety, we assume that some of it's healthy, some of it's junk, and at least we have a choice. But do we? Is picking the best from a pile of flavorless tomatoes really a choice? Or were key choices about what we eat made for us long before we walked into the store?
The industrial food system is not doing what a food system needs to do, which is not just produce lots of food, but to keep a population healthy. The industrial food system is making us very sick in many, many different ways. There is the obesity epidemic. There is diabetes. 4 out of 10 leading killers in this country are food-related chronic diseases.
I'm really worried about what's going to happen in this country if we don't sort of wake up and understand the consequences of every decision that we make about everything that we eat every day.
There's a big problem with food in our country today. Large commodity producers and large agribusinesses have hijacked and taken over the farm subsidy programs, and it's resulting in the production of food types that aren't healthy for us Americans.
Our government food policy promotes eating junk food. It really does. The rewards go to the people who make junk foods. So in a sense, our current food system promotes obesity.
One of the most remarkable things, I think, about this rise of industrial food in the second half of the 20th century is that it's been underwritten by taxpayer dollars.
If you listen to debates, there's never anything about the food system. It takes people like us, the sustainable food people, to bring up that stuff. And when we go and we get involved in the policy piece of the Farm Bill, it's like we're going up against Goliath, and we really lose almost every time.
American food policy, starting really in the teens and into 20s, was to supply people with the most amount of food at the lowest price. And that's not something to be sneered at. These days, when everybody has plenty, it's hard to remember when the South was the pellagra belt and when people really did not have enough food to eat.
It's hard to believe it now, but there was a time when many Americans were starving. In the Great Depression, farmers were producing plenty of food, but no one could afford to buy it. So farmers started going out of business. Under the Farm Bill, Uncle Sam paid farmers not to grow so many crops. By keeping supply down, the bill kept prices steady for the farmers. But after World War II, things began to change. New farming chemicals led to bigger harvests, and new petroleum-fueled machines were created to keep up with the surge. Starvation was history, but the explosion of food into the marketplace overwhelmed the government's ability to manage supply and demand. In the 1970s, Secretary of Agriculture Earl Butz had a different idea. In a complete 180, the government abandoned small farmers in favor of large mega farms that could churn out as much food as possible. All we had to do was find someone to eat this avalanche of cheap, low-quality food. In just 2 generations, a nation racked by hunger ate its way into obesity, diabetes, and all sorts of other problems. And now the health of Americans is just, well, depressing.
It's quite an accomplishment that we've managed to make ourselves so fat so fast in this country. There are a lot of reasons for it, but one central reason is we got really good at producing huge quantities of cheap food.
We thought we had to industrialize everything, including how to grow vegetables, farm tomatoes, or grow and raise cattle. And all of a sudden, we found out there's no taste. You taste it, everything tastes like nothing.
We're designed to eat healthy, good, flavorful, delicious food. That's why we have taste buds. If we didn't, if we were just supposed to eat paste, we wouldn't have taste buds, right?
Studies are also showing that the intensity of aromas and flavors from properly grown vegetables are stronger, and it goes hand in hand with nutrition. There's more micronutrients, there's more macronutrients like vitamin A, there's more antioxidants. There's no question anymore that the nutritional quality of our food supply is declining with time.
The food system has serious problems. It's not doing what we need it to do, and more people are recognizing that. To develop other ways of feeding ourselves, other whole systems for feeding ourselves, is very wise and the precautionary thing to do, given how the industrial food system is struggling right now.
So, food in America is a sad story of unintended consequences. Government got us out of the frying pan and into the deep fryer. Now our grocery stores are packed with a bunch of junk. Luckily for us, there were a few passionate people who remembered what good, healthy food was supposed to taste like. But
Okay, that's just a snippet. And this is a documentary called, you can find it on YouTube, and I suggest you do that, called How Corporations Are Running Your Health Food Industry. Real stories basically here in America. So just that little 10 minutes I just let you listen to should open up your eyes a little bit. Well, 7 minutes and 4 seconds of that documentary should open up your eyes. Now, I've never seen this documentary, and a lot of things that I have been talking about should let you know. Even a lot of my so-called theories, you may call it, or opinions are true. And I'm just going, and what I'll be talking about in the past is going by my past experience personally, and what I have noticed, and what I have been noticed when it comes to tasting different things, and why we so overweight, and what was affecting me, what was not affecting me, how a lot of the foods are not the same like they used to be, even though they wasn't that good then, but they are even worse today. It's not a theory. And I'm basing this on personal experience and also my own research and proven facts, you know. So you got a lot of clinicians and dietitians and nutritionists out there just verifying the same thing that I already knew. And then I learned a lot of things from some of these nutritionists. So I base my diet on a lot of my research now. And the majority of the food that we eat in America, sadly to say, is just a bunch of fast junk food. And I wanted to put that out there because these are different things that I'm going to be doing once in a while, not every night, or not even every other night, because I do want to talk about other things as of importance, you know. But we as Americans, if you live in America, if you live in another country, you might be going through the same thing or something different. But just say in general, so I can be fair, that it all starts with corporations and our governments. Kajing, kajing, kajing. What do I mean by kajing? Money. Eating in America never had anything to do with our health. It had to do with our profit. I mean, with their profit, for profits for their pockets. Therefore, when I mentioned this one time, America's food industry is based on taste and looks, not health. It don't take a scientist to understand that. It's based on health and looks. And it's a lot of documentaries out there that you can find on YouTube. Some of them may be banned or censored. So they use certain VPNs or whatever like that from what I heard. But the thing is, I just wanted to give you a taste of what our American food industry has been doing to us. You know, as far as food and different things like that, okay? So going in the future and everything like that, you will understand why I made my decision to eat the way I eat now. There's also an audio documentary I want to get into about vegetables that I just watched and everything like that. Do we supposed to eat vegetables? Now, I'm gonna answer this for myself. No. For myself, from what I understand now, no. It's okay not to never eat a vegetable again. But could you eat vegetables? Yes. But the challenge of eating vegetables, I can just give you a little taste, is all the hidden pathogens and stuff and the toxins that's in a lot of vegetables. Because the majority of vegetables were not made to be eaten. The majority of the vegetables were not made to be eaten. The majority of the plant food, if you want to call it that, was not made to be eaten. Now, there's a story behind it, and I want to give you a little something on that too. But I'm not going to do all that at one time. I want you to do that research. I want you to look up not a series, or subscribe to a channel called Evil Food Supply. Please do this. Subscribe to a channel called Evil Food Supply. You might be shocked or amazed what's going on with our American food, vegetables, and everything. And what's the main thing that we need to be consuming more than anything, you know? And some people will not do it. Some people will not listen and everything like that. They would try to use evolution. They would try to use creation and everything like that. But you don't even have to go that far to understand these things. And I often say the problem with vegetables and fruit today is it's toxic now. And some vegetables was never meant to be eaten. But when you try to go to the creation, because I look at things in the creation perspective, before the fall of man, there was not an issue with fruits and stuff like that. And the vegetables we supposed to be eating. Remember, you have animals that are herbivores, and their bodies are made for grazing vegetables and stuff like that. Humans was not. So the majority of the vegetable was not made for us to eat. That's why they got certain toxins and certain oxidates and that's defensive mechanisms in certain vegetables and everything to keep certain animals and certain bugs off of them. And why are we eating them? So it's a lot of situations. I'm not saying don't eat vegetables, but you need to choose your poison very carefully. It's not meant to consume all the time. But besides all that, I want you to give you a little taste of the motive behind our food industry. Is never for our health. It's for man's evil profit, the love of money, which is the root of all evil. Okay? So that's just a taste that I wanted to give you. So I will have other things to show you later on in the future. And Body of Christ, Real Talk, Health Talk. Joseph Brownlee. Please look up that documentary. God bless you all. Peace out. Bye-bye.